Hello and welcome to this video tutorial. In this tutorial we're going to be looking at the new video editing capabilities in Canva and a whole heap of gotchas and things that you need to know about using it. My name's Helen Bradley and welcome to my channel. Canva recently announced that there were new video editing tools built into Canva, and you might be asking yourself, well, weren't there always video editing tools in Canva? And the answer is yes, but these are slightly different. And it's also very different as how you access them. Before we get into that, let's talk about why you might want to use the video editing tools in Canva. Well, the good news is it's available for free and for paid users, so anyone can use these video editing tools. The video editing tools in Canva, however, don't behave the way that a true video editor is going to work. So you can't take the skills that you've developed in Canva and take them to another application, because Canva is just so very, very different in the way it handles video. So just be aware of that. What I think this tool is really handy for is an infrequent user, somebody who just wants to take a little bit off the beginning or end of a video. Maybe they want to take a little bit out of the middle. They want something that's easy to use and doesn't involve them having to pay for video editing tools. Now, the other thing about Canva is that you can include with your video things like the animated stickers, backgrounds, other elements. So you can create a really quite attractive video post for something like Facebook or Instagram using Canva. And so you're going to get a lot of sort of bangs for your buck, if you like, in that sense. The other thing that you can do, which I really love, is that you can put your video inside a frame, and so you can crop it to sort of circles or triangles, all sorts of shapes, which is really fun as well. Now, I have a few clients that I would recommend this tool to, and they're the kind of people who might want to do a quick how to do something. And they might actually be using Zoom as a recording, because Zoom can do a pretty good recording and it does save to MP4, and that's one of the formats that Canva will use. And so for somebody who just wants to do a quick how-to for a friend or for their YouTube channel, then this Canva tool is going to work really well for them. However, if you're into major video editing, this is not the tool for you. There are no features, for example, allowing you to fade your music in and out. You get your music at a level and that's it. So it's not really robust, but it is really good for quick and easy projects. Now, I want to show you some of the gotchas, and this is one of them. Here is a 1920 by 1080, that's a standard video size document. It's got a video on it. It's not full size, but that's just fine. You'll see down here are the new video editing features in Canva. Let's switch to this document. This one is exactly the same size. It's got the exact same video on it, but down here you can see that this is looking like a standard Canva document and not like this one, which has got different features. So how does that come about? Well, it's all got to do with how you start your document. Let me go back to my home screen, and in the Creative Design area, you can create all sorts of different designs in Canva. You'll be familiar with that. But the video ones are the only ones that actually give you the access to the video tools. So if you want to use the new video tools, you have to start with a video template. Anything else just simply doesn't work the same way. So I could click on video here to create a 1920 by 1080, but let's also go and search for video, because there are other options. And the reason why I'm pointing out these other options is because you may need to know them. If you want to, for example, create a video for Instagram, Instagram is best at 1080 by 1080, so that's a square document, but there is no Instagram option here. But there are other options that are 1080 by 1080. Let me see here. There's a Facebook video that is 1080 by 1080. So for Facebook video, read Instagram video, and if you want to create that size for Instagram, just make it a Facebook video document. Of course, it is video, so it's going to behave the same way as the video templates do. It's just that it's going to be the right size. So you might need to be a little bit flexible here, because for some reason there is no Instagram video option available. So first up, if you want to be able to use the new video tools, you have to be working in a video document. So I'm just going to remove my video from here. I've already uploaded my videos. You'll want to be working with fairly short videos, because otherwise your upload speeds are going to mean that you're waiting a long time to upload your videos to Canva. And that's a disadvantage for working with an online video editor. Let me just click to add the video. When I add it, it plays. Now down here we've got our what's called a video timeline. It doesn't work like a typical video timeline, but you'll see here that I've got my normal page size option here. But if I click on my video here, then I get a different little icon here, and what that is the thumbnails, and these are the thumbnails. So I can drag to make it longer. And that gives me access at a more granular level to my video, because if I need to crop a piece out of it, I need to move the playhead to where I need to make my crop. So there are two ways of cropping a video. Either you can take something off the beginning or end. So for example, at the end you might have put your hand over the camera, you may want to take that off, so we're cropping from the end or the beginning of the video. That's one thing. The second thing is taking a bit out of the middle, and that's something completely different. Let's deal with the taking something off one end. So this is our playhead here, so I'm just going to roll that back, and I'm going to move it to where I want to start the video. So I'm thinking probably about here. So with the playhead here, I can just right click on this area, on this timeline, and I get a split option. Now this is where the way Canva deals with video and the way a traditional video editor works are two completely different things, because what Canva does is it makes two pages. Over here you can see that we've got two pages in our document, and when I go to my thumbnail view here, I've got two pages, page 1 and page 2. Page 1 has got that first little bit from the video, page 2's got the second bit. So let's go back to our document. What we will want to do if we want to get rid of the beginning of this video is go to this page 1 here, click on it and delete it. And so that's effectively removed the bit from the beginning of the video. And so it's going to start now from where I set it to start from. Now let's go forward a little bit. And let's say I want it to finish just with the train still in view here. This train is the Savannah Lander in far north Queensland in Australia. So let's take out the end of the video here. Right click and choose split. So we're splitting at the timeline. Two pages. The first page has got the bit of the video that we want to keep. The second page has got the bit that we split and we want to remove. Right click and choose delete. And so now we're back to one page. Now you can also use that split feature to perhaps put something between two videos. You don't have to delete the second part unless you just don't want to see it. So just be aware of that. There's no compulsion to remove it, but obviously if you want to take a bit off the beginning or end, that's the idea that you're going to be working with. Okay, so we've seen how to take a bit off the beginning or end of a video. Let's go and see how to take something out of the middle. I'm just going to create a regular video document. Of course, we know that it has to be a video document or else we're not going to get access to the video editing tools that are new. Of course, there were always some video editing tools in Canva. These are a new batch. I'm going to take this free video that is supplied by Canva simply because there's something here that we can use to show how we're removing the bit out of the middle of the video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the clock forward until the longhand here is at 3. So let's just take the playhead and move it to this 3 point. And of course I can always stretch the playhead out or the timeline out by clicking on this, checking that I'm actually looking at the video timeline indicator and stretch it out. So let's go and check back here and put our playhead where we want to start to remove the video. What I want to do is take out everything between 3 and 9. So it skips from 12 to 3 and then back over here. So we're going to see that really clearly. Well, I'm at the first point, so I'm going to right click and split. That gives us 2 pages. That's not a surprise. Let's roll forward to the end of the clip that we want to remove. So I want to go to this point and I want to restart my video at this point. So I'm going to right click here and I'm going to split. And of course that makes a third page. So we've got page 1, page 2, page 3. Page 1 we want the video content on. Page 2 we want to delete the bit out of the middle because this is the bit we want to remove. And page 3 is what we want to keep. So let's just go to page 2, right click and delete. Now we can't stick those pages back together. The way Canva works is you're always going to have a page for every piece of video. So let's go back to the beginning and just prove to ourselves that this is working. And it does. It skips from the 3 point the first time all the way to the 9 point. So if I want this to just be a continual go round and skip, I'm going to need to pick up the 12 point again. So let me just go, because the video is starting, oh, it's actually starting at 1. So let's go back and pick up that 1 point. And let's split it at this point. Remove the bit we don't want. And now we should have a clock that skips from 3 to 9. So our video is going from a fixed starting point back to the same point and skipping this area. So that's how you remove a bit from the middle of a video. Now when it comes to talking about cropping a video, that's something different. We've trimmed and we've removed a bit out of the middle, but you can also crop video in Canva. And this has been available in Canva since forever. So what you're going to do is select on the video and go up here to the crop button. And now I can crop this into a square. So this would be more appropriate, for example, for a video that is going on to Instagram. So I'm just going to click done. So now I've got a square video, but it's only square on the first of the pages. So that's a gotcha. If you want to do things like actually cropping your video, you're going to want to do it before you start cutting it up into pieces. Otherwise, you're going to have the problem of not having your crop be seamless. Now it's time to have a look at the special situation where we want to add audio to our video. Now this particular MP4 video has an audio track on it, so we're going to hear the train actually coming along the tracks because that's how it was recorded. But you can also add additional tracks, so you could record, for example, a voiceover, or you could just go and use a piece of music. So let's go to the audio tracks that are supplied in Canva. I'm just going to use one of them. I'm looking for something that is free. And I'm going to just drag and drop this onto the timeline down here. Because I was positioned at the beginning of the timeline when I did it, it all came in the full length of the timeline. But let me show you what happens if you're not in that place. So let's just go and put that in here. And the audio track can just appear over part of the video. Now, if you want it to be over the whole of the video, you're just going to pick up this voice track or the music track and just stretch it. Now, this particular piece of music is 2 minutes and 3 seconds. My video is 2 seconds. So there is obviously a choice to be made as to which part of the audio I want to use. So I'm going to just double click on this to open it up, and I get the audio wave file across the bottom here, and I can just move it into position. Now this is a bit of hit or miss. You'll need to be a little bit aware that you might have to tweak this to suit, but whatever part of the audio file is in this sort of yellow area right now is the bit that's going to play. It's possible to alter the audio level here. So if you've got a piece of music that is really loud, for example, you can click on it, and up here is the volume icon. You can also get to that by right-clicking on it and choose volume. And then you can just adjust down your music track or your narration, whatever you need to do to make it the right level. But you can't fade it in and fade it out. There's none of those features. So what's going to happen now when I play this track is I'm going to have the train noise from the original MP4 movie, and I'm also going to have this audio. So both of those are going to play. Now it's not possible for me to control the audio level for the actual MP4. I can only control the audio volume level for the actual audio tracks that I've added. So just be aware of that limitation. It's possible to add multiple audio tracks, so you can just keep adding them and they're all going to play. So you can stack a heap. I've done it up to 5 and it's still kept going. So it's a terrible noise when you play it, but just be aware that you can have multiple audio tracks. And the beauty of audio tracks is that you can set them to play over just part of the video. So that can be adjusted that way. Now, one of the things that you've always been able to do with video in Canva is to put it inside a frame. So I'm going to Elements and I'm just going to look for the frames. These frames are special objects inside Canva, and they all have this sort of cloud and mountain in it. And so anything that has a cloud and a mountain is a frame that you can use to showcase a video or a still image. So I'm just going to pick one of these. There's lots of alphabet letters as well that you can use. They're really, really handy when you want something that is a little bit different. I'm going to choose one of these. Let's just choose this one here. I'm going to scale it up. And we can use this to effectively visually crop our movies. So I'm going to take my movie file and just move it around, and when it appears inside this frame, I'm just going to let go. And so the movie has in actual fact been cropped to the shape of the frame, and it's going to play within that frame. And that's one of the really cool things that you can do with video inside Canva that you can't do in a lot of other applications, and certainly not anywhere near as easily as this. If I double click on the frame containing my movie, you can see that I can see the movie itself. Now, I can size it and I can also move it, so I can determine which part of my movie actually appears inside the frame. Now, that's for the whole of the movie. You can't do that bit by bit, but that's going to play then inside the frame. Of course, if you're going to use one of these frames and you want it to be consistent throughout the entire movie, then add the movie to the frame and position it before you start doing any trimming or splitting. So I'm going to actually split my movie. Let's just move the playhead forward here. Let's just split it. It's of course going to go on 2 pages, but you'll see that on both pages is the exact same frame in the exact same position. So you can do things with a movie inside a frame, and you can do things with a movie that itself has been cropped, but you just want to do it in the right order. And so getting it inside the frame, getting it cropped first, and then doing your trims or removing bits from the middle of the video is the better way of doing it. In addition to your movie, you can also add background. So this is going to behave exactly like a regular Canva page. So let me just find something that I can put behind the movie here. And we could go and choose other elements. So we could have some stickers, some moving stickers. We can have text, all that sort of thing. I've just added the background to this one page. So obviously if you wanted it on the other page, you'd need to add it. Let me just get rid of the background for now. The other thing that you can do as soon as you've got more than one page is you can animate it. And so that's going to be the transition into the page. Let's just click on animate. And with animate, you can choose various animation options. Now, I believe block is only available for text, but others of these options are available for movie as well as for text. And so you can choose, if you're using the free version of Canva, you can use anything that doesn't have a little crown here, and these of course are for the for-fee version, but there are some page animations that you can use. Now, in choosing a page animation, once you've chosen it, you can also apply it to all the pages in your presentation should you wish to do so by just clicking apply to all pages. Let's play it and see what we've got. Okay, so we had that animation. I'm not sure what this blue bar is. I don't usually see that. It might just be Canva struggling a little bit on my computer with everything open and everything running at the same time. Now before we leave, let's go and have a look at something that is going on behind the scenes in Canva that it can help to understand, particularly for example in this case where I've cropped my movie on the first page and it's not cropped on the second. Let's just delete the whole of the second document or the second page. And so now we just have this little bit of my movie, but it hasn't actually been cropped permanently, because if I drag out, you'll see that I'm able to get my entire movie back again. So here it is. So this is not a permanent baked-in effect. So if you were to remove a piece of your movie and then you suddenly realize that from page 1 to page 2 things are moving that you don't want to move, for example, you can come back in and just stretch your movie out and get all of it back again. And then you can go and do your splits again. This time, because we've cropped the movie, it's actually going to be cropped on page 2 the same way as it's been cropped on page 1. So let's just take the playhead and go and find that spot again. So this was the point that I wanted to split it, and let's go and find the second point to split it. Split it here, and then I'm going to take off the very end once it gets back to 5 past there. So this bit I want to delete, and then I want to delete the middle bit. So out of pages 1, 2 and 3 I'm deleting page 2. So without having to do anything special to this document, apart from just recouping my video back again by dragging on it to stretch it back out to get past that crop area, now I've got something that is actually working the way I wanted it to. And from one page to the next, we've got this sort of seamless thing happening. So I think it helps to know that you can undo a crop if it's not exactly what you want, and you can just finesse it or you can totally undo it. So the next question that we need to determine is what happens once we've actually created our video. Well, you get a number of options, and here, using these three little icons up in the top corner, you can choose to share your video direct to an online service. Now, not all of the online services that you might want to use are available, and if you've got a really large video, I probably wouldn't recommend that as an option to go direct to another application. I would probably download my video as an MP4 file to your local drive and then check it looks okay, and after you're happy with it, actually upload it to whatever service you want to use. Just be aware that because we're working in this video timeline mode in Canva that calls each clip a page, that you will want to be typically selecting all pages so that everything is going to be exported as your movie file. And you just click here on download and it's going to encode and download your MP4 file. That could take some time depending on how long your file is and how complex it is. And then once you've done that, you can upload it to wherever it is that you want to upload it to. That would be my recommendation. But if the service that you want to use is available here, then you could also choose to share it direct. I hope that this video has given you a start for working with video in Canva. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and you'll be alerted when new videos are released. Until next time, my name's Helen Bradley. Thank you so much for joining me here on my YouTube channel.